So, what I want to talk to you about in this episode is the concept of free will. This has been coming up in some of my sessions recently, and it's got me thinking a lot also about how we don't really have a true comprehension of what free will is. So, I'm going to try to give you the universal broad aspect of it that I have received from the Wisdom Keepers, but also the earthly concept with our logical understanding on how we have free will here on earth. So, one of the things that we may not realize is that once we become a spark in the universe, or we replicate ourselves into the energy, we get free will. So I want you to imagine that there's source energy, and source is constantly creating itself. If you've heard of my testimony where I went into the energy where source was creating more of itself, which was creating souls, basically this is a constant. There's a constant creation of itself. So this is shooting out this, and they're the same thing. But this then has the ability to help this become free will. So, our highest self, our largest oversoul that we could even be having and projecting in the universe, which is a whole nother story, and I will have to try to explain that in another video, but it's too big of a concept for us to understand when it comes to free will. That part of ourselves has free will to explore itself throughout the entire universe. Now, as a soul explores itself in the universe, it can choose from billions of opportunities to experience itself. It can even become air. It can become a star. It can become a speck of dust. It can become anything in existence to experience itself by putting its thought into that form, or what we would call an energy or a frequency, and having awareness of itself in that. We as humans are experiencing ourselves in a physical form. So there's a part of our soul that has projected itself into a different realm. So it creates for itself a higher self. Then the higher self is what projects itself into the human form. So there is always a connection between the human and the higher self. There's no way to disconnect this. The only way that we can perceive it being disconnected is if we block off our understanding of ourself as a spiritual being. And once we've blocked that off, or our ego has been shut down so that we do not contact our higher self, we don't communicate with our support team or our guides, and we don't even really think about the concept of God. Now, our guides and loved ones, and even Source itself, God itself, can intervene into our human experience and help us to have an experience where we sense and feel something. But we have the free will of whether we want to have that, whether we want to have that experience. So, there in itself is one of the ways that we get free will. Our soul projecting it into the human body, and then our soul deciding in this lifetime, I want to be disconnected from myself. I don't want to think about it. I don't want to believe in it. I don't want to have an experience where I know where I come from. So, this might be a human that comes to be an atheist, or might live their whole life disconnected from themselves, but they might have other qualities that help them in this human experience to connect with energies such as love and compassion and empathy. So it's even in that, if we have any type of energy within us that we're sharing love or we're sharing empathy, we are connected to our truth. We're just not aware of it. Now, there are also humans that come to be completely disconnected from even that, and may not have empathy, may not have love that they're sharing with the world. And this might be a narcissistic person, or this might be someone that came into the world to not do good things and to experience what it's like to be in that form. And I'm sure we could all probably think of people like that on earth right now, but this is also for a purpose. It is in some crazy way, it is beneficial to the rest of the collective energy and the expansion of source itself. So free will starts before you even come to earth. What do I want to do when I'm there? What do I want to experience? And how do I want to experience? Once we get to Earth, we are given another layer of free will where we get to pick our path. And what we don't realize is free will presents itself in every single moment. In every moment, we have the free will to decide between several different options. Do I go this way or do I go this way? Or maybe you're given three different options and you decide which one you want to pick. So free will is taking place in every moment of every second of our life. And in that, we are learning more about ourselves. So the more you get to know yourself, the more you heal, the more you raise your vibration, the more you're led by your higher self, the more you tune in to your choices and understand this choice is going to have this consequence. But when you're not connected to yourself or your higher self, you may not know this choice has a consequence. And this is why you see people doing things and you're like, what are they thinking? It's because they're disconnected from themselves. You will see people that have significant trauma doing things that don't make sense because you wouldn't do that. But you might be connected to yourself the way that other person is not connected to themselves. So they are very unaware of how their behaviors are impacting everyone or the things around them. So, this is a form of free will. Now, as you become connected to yourself, you are given more layers of free will. And this is something that my spirit team had shown me before, where they were trying to guide me into this mission that I have here on earth to teach and to guide and to help humanity to release their karmic cycles and awaken. When I was about to jump into this journey and trust the universe to take care of me, the universe showed me two distinct paths that I could choose while I was here. One of those paths was continuing doing what I was doing. I was working in the mental health field, I was helping people, I was actually doing what I went to school to do. And they said, this is not a wrong path for you, but it won't be accomplishing what your soul came here to accomplish. So, if you decide to take the other path, which is a little bit harder than just staying on a normal path, staying in a normal job, kind of living a normal life, that path is going to get you one direction in this lifetime, and you won't really officially accomplish what your soul came to do. Or you can trust, you can take the hard path, you can take the path of trusting the universe to take care of you, and you can leave this job and begin to do what you're here to do. Now, I didn't just jump off the ship when they started to present this to me. I knew it was coming. I had it deep in my heart. I had this preparation within me, knowing this is going to be my next step. But when it came to time where I was presented the moment that I was supposed to make that choice, I had to decide, what choice do I want to make? Do I want to continue this path and end up just enjoying my human experience and then returning back to spirit? Or do I want to accomplish what my soul came here to do? In that moment, I did a lot of crying, a lot of healing, a lot of shedding old beliefs so that I could jump ship from what I was doing and do what I'm doing now. So that's an extreme case of free will in that moment. We get free will in every choice that we get. And this is even with connections, friendships, family members. how we set boundaries, how we don't set boundaries. All this is free will. And we don't realize it in every moment of every day. We are choosing a path that is either aligned with our higher self or just simply enjoying or having some type of a human experience. Maybe not even enjoying that human experience. So if you could imagine that you're walking down the woods and you're just walking this path, and you may be completely unaware that there's a path right alongside you, parallel, going right back with you on this path. So what's interesting is at any moment, any time, you could switch back and forth on this path. And there is no right or wrong when you're switching back and forth from on this path. Now, one path might lead to one thing and another path to another thing, but eventually, what they both do is come back together when you come to the end of this experience and you transition out of your human body or you pass away and go back to spirit. You always end up back at the same place. Now, here's the next layer of free will. Once you leave your human form, once you pass away, you also have free will because free will does not end out when you leave the body. Free will resides within the entire universe. This is why our soul is getting to experience itself in multi dimensions. So, when we leave our human body, that frequency of our soul has the free will of moving into the light or staying earthbound. And this is why there are assigned beings or guides, we will say, that help spirits to transition back to the light. Because sometimes someone will pass and their spirit will feel like they don't want to go to the light. Maybe they have been taught about hell. Maybe they have been taught that they can't communicate with their loved ones if they go to the light, so they want to stay earthside so they can keep talking to them. Maybe they have been taught that there is no God, so they think, well, this is it. This is where I'll stay. So there's always support in every level to move into a different frequency, but we have to receive it. We have to be open to receiving it. Just like when we're in our human form in a being in a body, we have a choice to listen to our spirit guides. We have a choice to connect with our spirit guides. They're not going to force themselves on us. They're not going to tell us what to do. They're only going to guide us, simply saying, here's an option for you if you so choose to take that option. Same thing in spirit. Here's an option for you if you so choose to take that option. And it's been really interesting when I've connected with spirits on the other side that haven't transitioned into the light. Most of them have a fear of hell, or they think that they won't be able to communicate with their loved one if they go into the light. So, as a hypnotherapist, as a spirit release therapist, as someone that can connect with the non physical realm, I will communicate with the spirit and let them know you absolutely will still be able to communicate with your loved one here on earth, and even more so when you move to the light. So, as you shift, as the spirit shifts, their field opens, their light expands, and then that allows things to be released from that physical sensation that they held on to, and they don't have to pull energy from the earth to maintain themselves in this particular energetic field. So even beyond that, when a spirit does go to the light, they still have free will. The free will to return to earth, the free will to experience themselves in another way, the free will to move into another dimension. There is a free will always, but because our soul is pure love, the free will beyond this human experience is all based on love. And the love is for self. The self-love gives us the desire to do something in that higher dimension. So if I'm residing, let's pick the seventh dimension. We'll just say this is where heaven is. If I'm in this dimension, I might love myself so much, where I do. I love myself so much because I am pure bliss love, that love wants to go back to earth to correct something that I did in that lifetime that I had just left. Now, that same frequency that left earth will not be the one that comes back. It will be a different frequency from the oversoul that comes to experience itself again. But because it's the same oversoul, the same higher self, it will feel familiar or have memories from that other lifetime. This is why children, when they come to earth, they might remember something from a past life. They might have dreams about it. They might even come in with an ability. We're seeing all kinds of children coming in with abilities right now, such as musical or being able to communicate with non-physical beings. Like there's so much happening with these younger kids right now because they are open to remembering that non-physical part of themselves, and they can pull the memories in to teach themselves how to be here on earth again. So they don't have to fully go through the process of pulling in new memories in this lifetime to merge into the earthly experience. So as you can see, free will has multi-layers, and it goes to pretty much any decision that you were to make. And it reminds me, I've talked to a few people this week who said that they have been caring for loved ones. And some of them are like, well, what do I do? Do I keep helping them or what? And I'm like, there's free will. What is your higher self telling you to do in this moment? Is there a boundary you need to set? Or is your spirit saying, take care of them? And the choice is up to you. You have the free will to decide which direction you take. And that is how free will works. It's in everything we do, in every moment, even in a text message. I have the choice to text this or not text this. So, next time you are about to make a decision, think about, am I connected to my higher self in this decision? Is this for the highest good of myself and those involved? Or am I making a decision not connected to myself and just going through the experience? It doesn't mean that you have to live every single moment of all your life thinking that way, because there's simple daily tasks that we do every day that I'm just going to go to the grocery store today. But at the grocery store, I have a choice and free will of what I engage in there and what foods I get. So as you see, free will has multi-layers. So I hope this helps a little bit with your understanding of how broad free will can be. And maybe one day I'll try to attempt what it is like even in higher dimensions, because that's a whole nother concept and very hard to explain. But maybe the wisdom keepers can do that in a channeling sometime. Until we meet again, I wish you the best day, night, evening, whatever time it is for you. I send you all the universal love. Namaste.